But first, let me go across to Rajeev Chandrashekhar. Thanks very much, Mr. Chandrashekhar, for being with us. So on an average, it's quite easily, if you look at the All India figures, the poll of polls has the NDA well above 350 at 361 on an average, the India Alliance at 145. You'd expect it to cross 400, but would you say that, this is perhaps a more realistic estimate of where the NDA would have landed up?
So as Vishnu, thank you for having me on the show. And as Maria said, this is certainly not the result. This is the exit poll. And I certainly still will stick my neck out and say that the NDA results will be closer to 400 than 350. I still maintain that some of the losses that are being shown in Rajasthan and in Haryana and states like that are not really going to be losses for the BJP. But certainly it is very clear, as it was clear in the end of early Feb, when elections were being announced, that this will be the third term for Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. In the last 90 days, the Congress has tried its best to use all kinds of tactics, lies, misinformation, deepfakes.
Just one point, to interrupt you for half a second. Rajasthan, in fact, of 25 seats, the BJP, according to exit polls, poll of polls, is projected to get 21, the India Alliance 4. So, it's still a very strong performance. But please go ahead.
Yeah, so no, I was making the point that I think the last 10 years of the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, it was clear to anybody who was taking a reasonable view towards these elections that the people were decisively going to give him another mandate. Of course, we had this spectacle of the last 90 days of the Congress and the India Alliance trotting out all kinds of tactics and negativity into these elections. And we said all along that the people of India will certainly show them the right direction and their response to this type of politics. And I think that is what these exit polls are indicating. And we will see on the 4th. I certainly believe that the results will be even better than what the exit polls are indicating when the real results come out on the 4th.
Okay, but Mr. Chandrashekhar, what your political opponents and India bloc is saying is that they are at 295 and that just as 2004, when all the exit polls got it wrong, history will be repeating in 2024 as well.
Well, look, it's easy to be delusional till the 4th. I think they've done they've had a good run of about 90 to 100 days of talking utter nonsense. And the 4th will prove that they've been talking utter nonsense, including this delusional view that they were anyway close to fooling the people of India to giving them another mandate, especially after the people of India have seen what they did in the 10 years between 2004 and 2014. So there is no way that type of corrupt, dysfunctional politics the people of India will ever embrace anytime in the near term.
We're also joined by Mr. V. Muralidharan, the Minister of State for External Affairs. We'll go to him in a moment, but I wanted to go across to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi first. Firstly, your broad reaction to this. It just seems that the India Alliance, a poll of polls shows them at just 145. And in many states where you would expect it to do well, for example, Karnataka, despite the recent assembly elections, it shows the Congress at just 6, the NDA at 22. Other than Punjab, where the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have both done relatively well, it just seems to be a washout. How do you look at these exit polls?
Well, you have many guests and your time is limited, so let me be very pointed. See, number one, I am reminded of so many of these polls. Nobody suggested a West Bengal result in 2021. You know what happened to the exit polls. In fact, very recently in all the 3 assembly elections in the reverse direction in favor of BJP, nobody predicted Madhya Pradesh sweep, etc. in the exit polls. They got it wrong on both Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, but in favor of the BJP, they were wrong. And so on and so forth. The examples are many. So this caveat must be kept in mind. Exit polls, not opinion polls, can go grievously wrong. Number two, the 295 figure given today by the India Alliance was after a full day meeting in deep analytical consultation with local persons who were leaders who got inputs and they discussed and analyzed, and then they came to this figure. So it's not just a rabbit out of the hat which has been given. Now I'll tell you why. Obviously, the figures you've given in this poll of polls, or the average of all these polls, is very depressing if true. But that's a very big if. I'll tell you why. You have each of the polls has given some, although very small, seats in the south. I believe that in the 60 seats in the south of Tamil Nadu and Kerala together, if they get even one, would be a very great miracle. These 2-3 seats everywhere addition is wrong, because there is absolutely none of the so-called Modi wave, none of the so-called religious divide on which it has worked in some parts of the north. Number two, you have clearly overstated in many areas. Take, for example, all the sweep states, the saturation states, have been repeated with same saturation figures. 100% back in Gujarat, 100% back in Madhya Pradesh, 100% not back, but first time in Chhattisgarh, etc., etc. Now, I believe that yes, we may not win in those states, we may not cross the halfway mark, but to expect that you will have a 100% repeat there is really wrong.
Dr. Singhvi, I want to understand from you, out of these 295 that is being predicted by the India bloc, how much is the Congress itself looking at?
No, we have decided today itself that we are not going to speak in these bits and pieces and divisive voices. We have analyzed together in a very harmonious way. So we prefer to give you a 295 figure collectively. I'm not breaking it up because that's the decision. We don't want to break it up. Because ultimately we fight together, we win together, we lose together. And I'll tell you why there is so much of overstatement everywhere. I mean, I saw a figure somewhere that the vote share of the BJP in Punjab is more than the vote share of AAP. I don't think that's possible. I think they will do better in Telangana, but I don't think they'll do so much better as to put us way behind in Telangana.
There isn't a single outlier over here in any of the polls which shows the India Alliance winning. The lowest number is Dainik Bhaskar, which places the NDA at 281. So, I mean, it seems difficult to believe that all of them have got it wrong.
Well, as I said, there have been the examples I gave you in 2021 assembly elections for West Bengal. In the last assembly elections of 2023, nobody predicted the sweep in favor of the BJP, even remotely, in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Nobody. Tell me which did. None of them. In 2020 Bihar assembly elections, nobody predicted for the RJD-led Mahagathbandhan. There are many examples. So I think it can be possible. There is also, of course, a very big situation of tall claims, overstatement. The 400 ke par is exactly what they did in West Bengal. And they got 70.
All right.
They said 250. So I think you have to be careful, you have to discount. But anyway, now we are 2 days away.
Okay. Dr. Singhvi, appreciate your time. Let me go back to Rajeev Chandrashekhar for a quick final comment. Rajeev Chandrashekhar, I'm looking at Kerala numbers. This is a state from where you contested, from Thiruvananthapuram. The pollsters are predicting that there could be some numbers, not just, in fact, they are suggesting that NDA could win one seat. Which is that lucky one seat that could come in your kitty, or is this your alliance partner?
Maria, I just want to respond to you and, of course, to Mr. Manu Singhvi. First of all, I think Manu is hanging on to a very, very thin thread as saying that exit polls are wrong. I just want to point out to him very respectfully, almost every exit poll got these types of numbers in 2019, and you know what the results were in 2019. So hanging on to some thread of hope, I think, is probably what the India Alliance has left, and that's fine. As far as the south of India, and again, Manu mentioned that south of India, we will do well, we will not do well. I will stick my neck out today and tell you that in the south of India, the BJP is going to be the single largest national party in the south of India. So forget about the Congress. It is going to be BJP, which is going to be the largest party in these elections in South India, national party.